everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Bob with Adventures Bound. Yeah, I know we haven't gone on an adventure yet. A lot going on this weekend, guys. I'm hammered down, but I did get the truck finished yesterday. I will post a picture here of that here shortly in a second. But we are on our way to pick up our first order of parts for the 66 Belvie. We got brakes, we got tune-ups, we got wheel cylinders, we got match cylinders, we got plugs, wires, all kinds of goodies, man. So we're gonna go pick these parts up and start getting work on this old beast. Alright guys, we are back from O'Reilly's with a box full of goodies. Now, she did need a lot of things, but I only got a few things this time around. But I knew the lower radiator hose was collapsed, so I picked up one of those. It's nice to have this in stock. Of course, we got some engine nick greaser. We're going to clean up that engine. That'll be a separate video of the cleanup video. Wicks filter, we're going to change the oil. I didn't buy oil. I had oil lying around because I do build engines on the side, and I use cheap oil for break-ins. And then, you know, this will be good. What is it? 1040. That's perfect. Got a couple fuel filters. We got a spring kit for the drum brakes. Now, anytime I do drum brakes on a car this old, I always pick up spring kit. It's cheap. It's affordable. You know, I have no idea who's been in this car before, who's done brakes before. I don't know if it's got the original springs and stuff in it. So I know I got to go in there and change the wheel cylinder. So it's just for me, it's good just to change the springs. And if the springs are still good, or the kit's still good, then I'll use what's there. But I like having a set of spring kit on hand. And we got the front left and right wheel cylinders. Yes, they are different on the front, and the two in the back are exactly the same. But we know the passenger side wheel cylinder is leaking. It's all over the tire. That's the reason why the brakes are so spongy. Of course, you got a couple cans of brake cleaner. I usually buy this stuff in a case, but I don't expect to use a case this time around. We got some brake fluid. We got some cheap spark plugs. Just need plugs just to get it running when we end up tuning it up. I also ordered distributor cap, plug wires, a couple other things for the engine, a carb rebuild kit, and we got our new master cylinder, which is nice because they actually ordered this and it was here the next day. Look at that, guys. Man, isn't that beautiful? But I also know this one here is still good. We could probably save this one. Now, there is a bunch of rust and debris inside. I really don't want that going through the brake line, so I'm going to bleed these lines out, run some fluid through it. I could probably take that master cylinder off and clean it out and reuse it, but I just got a new one because it was affordable and it's cheap. But out of the 10 times, you can probably reuse these unless the plunger and the bushings or the gaskets and all that are bad in the back. But yeah, look at that fuel filter. Yikes. Yeah, well, that's an Edelbrock. We're going to clean that up too. Distributor. Yeah, we got a lot of work to do this, guys. We're going to get it up on jack stands here in the front, get these tires off. And I also have decided, and now before y'all holler, because I know there's a few critics out there that like the car lowered, but I am going to put the car back up to its normal height. I did look into getting 15-inch rims for this and get rid of these 14s. We're going to raise it back up normal. The front's just raised back up by the torsion bars, and the rear is lowered by a set of 1-inch blocks. So we're going to get rid of the blocks, put the rear end back to normal, and we're just going to raise up the front end on this. But check this out, guys. I spent about 5 minutes just with some compound. on this old paint. Look at that shine. I don't know if the video was showing that, but look at that shine from this to that. I mean, come on, look at that. I also did this fender as well, just to see, you know, if this paint will clean up. So what I plan on doing is cleaning up the car, giving it a good bath, polishing up all this chrome, polishing up this paint. You know, these rust areas, I gotta figure out what to do with that. You know, I might just, I don't know, clean up the best I can and just clear it. You know, we're gonna leave the patina that's on here, these rust spots here. I'm gonna see if I can't get something close to match this paint. Put a little dusting on there, a little rattle can dusting. You know, leave all this on here, take a Scotch-Brite to it, clean it up, and then buff it, and then leave it. We're gonna drive it just like you see it. But I'm gonna go ahead and throw this thing on some jack stands, and we're gonna start pulling off these wheels and getting to work on these brakes. All right, we got it up on jack stands, and the first thing I like to do is check these bearings. Now see how much play's in here. We got some tie rod movement, probably some ball joint movement. Oh, you hear that? Hub bearings. Yep. Gotta try, maybe we could just get away with tightening it up. Let's check the other one. Yeah, same thing. Oh, definitely got a little bit of play in there. So hopefully the race and everything is still good and the bearings are still good. We'll probably just repack the bearings, snug it up a little bit, but yeah. We're gonna go ahead and pull this wheel off and get into this thing. Well, that wasn't very tight. That was. Yep, there's your evidence right there. Brake fluid. Let's see. Yep, we gotta pull this off, pull that pin out. Gotta get some tools. Let's pull the other side off too. All right, I already went ahead and sprayed everything down with the Crow oil. Best stuff around, guys. Best stuff around. WD-40, PV Blaster, all works great, but this stuff works really good. A little pricey, but it's worth it. Let me bust this cap off. Definitely been beat on a few times, and there it comes. Go ahead and get this pin out of here. That's another thing. You know, why is it always brakes? It's always brakes. Ever notice that? No matter what car you work on, especially when it's an old car, it's always the brakes. Throw that down. Take off the benzene cap. Yeah, that was pretty loose on there, guys. That was pretty loose. That might be a lot of our... Yeah, you can see it. See that play in there? Yeah, we might get lucky and be able to save this. I should probably get out a pair of gloves, but I'm so used to doing this without gloves throughout these years. I probably should. All right. Bearing looks good. Race don't feel too chewy, so we might get away with just repacking these and putting them back in. Yeah, there it is. How's that spindle look? Well, that spindle looks good. Not too bad, man, not too bad. All right, let's get these springs off and see how we get that thing off there. All right, I already went ahead and sprayed everything down with the Crow oil. Best stuff around, guys. Best stuff around. WD-40, PV Blaster, all works great, but this stuff works really good. A little pricey, but it's worth it. Bust this cap off. Definitely been beat on a few times, and there it comes. Go ahead and get this pin out of here. That's another thing. You know, why is it always breaks? It's always breaks. Ever notice that? No matter what car you work on, especially when it's an old car, it's always the brakes. Throw that down. Take off the benzene cap. Yeah, that was pretty loose on there, guys. That was pretty loose. That might be a lot of our... Yeah, you can see it. See that play in there? Yeah, we might get lucky and be able to save this. I should probably get out a pair of gloves, but I'm so used to doing this without gloves throughout these years. I probably should. All right. Bearing looks good. Race don't feel too chewy, so we might get away with just repacking these and putting them back in. Yeah, there it is. How's that spindle look? Well, that spindle looks good. Well, with a little effort and a little bit of heat and the coil oil, we don't have to end up replacing a brake line. Nice thing about this is the rubber line still feels pretty good. It's not factory, it has been replaced. I'm gonna go ahead and continue to get this line off and take this master or this wheel cylinder off. You can definitely tell she's been leaking. Definitely tell. It's all wet. There it is, right there. All right, keep going. Okay, we got the whole backing plate and brake assembly off, and that's just by loosening 4 bolts and your tie rods. Now, a lot of guys will fight this back 1/2-inch bolt that connects to the cylinder. I don't know how they get that thing off there. It's such a tight fit, and I can show you over here on the driver's side. As you can see, there's no room to possibly get a wrench in there. Now you see the little guy, he's right there. You can't get a wrench in there, guys. I don't care how good you are. And Snap-on don't make a tool to go in there. But personally, I'd rather take off the whole assembly. That gives me a chance to clean all this up, clean that spindle off the proper way, clean up the backing plate, clean up all the bolts. You know, this one didn't have a cotter pin in it, so somebody broke it off. It was already broke off, so I got to re-drill that, put a new cotter pin in it. That's how I like to do it. Now I can put all this back together nice and clean. There you have it. Now, anytime I put something back together that's this old, I like to clean them up, you know, soak them in a little bit of WD-40, you know. It's just better to put them back together clean. You know, that's for the wheel cylinder, nice and clean. Now there's no debris in there anymore, no rust, no deposits, nothing like that. So now it's prepared to go back together with clean parts, clean nuts and bolts. Now the whole assembly is ready to go back on in one piece. Brakes are connected, cylinders in. Now I just got to throw it back on there. Brake shoes look great on this. A lot of meat left on these, so we're in pretty good shape. So we're just going to install this back on. We cleaned up the bolts. I'll put this back on here and put it back together. All right, this side is all put back together. Got our nuts set, got a cotter pin in, got it greased, got our new got our line back in. Like I said, for you guys that do this at home, it doesn't hurt to heat this up. You don't want to get too hot because you don't want to melt the hose. You don't want to burn the fluid inside. Heat it up expanded a little bit. It comes out. I got lucky. I didn't have to replace this line. It all went back together really nice and neat and easy. But yeah, we are back together on the passenger side. Now we're going to move on to the driver's side, but I'm not going to bore you with that side, showing the same thing all over again. But next time you see it, it's going to be we're going to be taking off the master cylinder. All right, I've already got the old master cylinder off. Now, if I'd have filmed all that, it'd have taken freaking forever because it was bare. Now, I did have to heat this line up. We saved it. It didn't have to break on me. Thank you. Now, there's 4 bolts on the inside and the brake pedal arm that connects to the master cylinder. So let's look at this master cylinder. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, you don't want all that stuff in your brake lines. Now, here's the new one. Now, there is a shaft, a rod, that comes, a plunger that comes out of there. 2 bolts, mount that one in. Now I already bench bled this one. We're going to install this one, but I figured I'll let you see what's happening first. But this is the situation here. In order to get these out, it's not like a Chevy where it just comes off 2 bolts. I don't know if you can see all that, but there's 2 holes, 2 bolts there and 2 bolts there. And then you got disconnected off the pedal, which is a bolt right in the center of your screen. So yeah, that's all. So we're going to go ahead and install this new one, and we're going to loosen up all the bleeders, and we're going to let it gravity feed and see if we got brakes. Okay, passenger front wheel cylinder is changed. Master cylinder is changed. It's bled out. We finally have a full pedal again, which is nice. So now we got stopping power. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a good half a day's work. It wasn't too bad because the car's in great shape and a lot of the parts weren't rusty. I got really lucky on that rubber brake line, so it was still good. I could still use that. Everything else came apart real nice and easy. Bled the brakes. Pedal is nice and hard now. It stops, you know, no more yabba dabba Flintstone, you know. But I appreciate you all watching. If you made it to the end, thank you very much. I also appreciate all the new subscribers I got. Trying to make the best content that I can. And yes, we are still going on an adventure here soon. Probably won't be until the following weekend. With the New Year's and the holidays, it's kind of, I've been hammered down, man. I got a lot of stuff going on. But the truck is put back together. The truck is ready to go on the road. I'm excited to get on the road with that. All my gear is put away. It's organized. It's good. So the truck is ready. So we're ready for an adventure. The next project on the car is clean up. We're going to clean this thing up, man. We're going to pull it out of here. Actually, we're going to take it around the block. I'm going to show you taking it around the block. We're going to be driving it. We're going to be cleaning up the engine bay, changing the plugs, changing the points, changing the cap, changing that lower radiator hose. We're going to be cleaning up this body, doing some polishing, doing some buffing. We're going to throw some rims on here, man. We're going to clean up this interior. Yeah, there's a lot to see on this car in the upcoming videos. So, again, guys, thanks. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend if you like this kind of stuff, man. But I appreciate you all staying with me as long as you have. All right, guys, see you in the next video. Peace.